Real stay safe shit. You already know what the fuck going on. So we gotta talk about this Blac Youngsta situation. How this nigga basically has been going crazy right now and dissing Young Dolph. And basically he did shoot a music video on like a grave site that kind of looks like his, but we don't know for sure. But let's get into it, man. So Young Dolph, as we kind of already established like a couple weeks ago, was tragically shot and killed outside of a cookie store in South Memphis. And he basically had an ongoing beef and feud with Yo Gotti and his artist Blac Youngsta, which I kind of explained in another video called War in Memphis. Go check that out if you want to get more of a background on like what exactly happened that kind of led up to this point. So Young Dolph, he dies, and then Blac Youngsta, I guess, is standing on the same shit that he was standing on. Let's say that he had nothing to do about it. He was kind of just talking about the same shit, and it became apparent that he wasn't gonna be on no rest in peace shit when he died, because he was it's seen in the club in Dallas actually performing his Dolph diss track Shake Some. And it had mixed reviews in the crowd. People were saying, I saw people in Dallas were not fucking with it, because it's like, I don't know, like niggas in a completely different city, they don't want to fucking like be a part of this like street beef. Like they don't know anything about it. They're probably just there just trying to be at the club and shit, and this nigga doing this whole diss shit, which is kind of unnecessary in a club appearance, you feel me? So he basically drops that. People were kind of mad at that, and then he got hella backlash online, and then he thought it was a good idea to drop a video in a fucking cemetery, and then he's rapping in front of a mausoleum that says Thornton on it. We don't know if it's Dolph's fucking gravesite. I'm doubting it is his gravesite. Because then I feel like people would be there because it just recently got buried. But say, for symbolism purposes, he's trying to say that he's on top of Dolph's grave, like dancing on his grave and shit. And he's basically in the song just talking about how he's standing on the same shit that he was when Dolph was alive and shit. Whether or not this is incriminating for an investigation or people are gonna lead it, I mean, I'm guessing that he probably didn't have anything to do with it, because if you think about it, this would be completely just fried to fucking like pay for a hit or kill somebody and then make a song about, I mean, he doesn't even make a song about killing people. That's the thing. In the song, he just talks about my ops bled. Like, it's sort of like a song that's talking about his ops and saying that they got hit and stuff. But I feel like the most shocking thing was the fact that he was in the cemetery in front of the person named Thornton, which, if you don't know Dolph's last name, his name is Adolph Thornton. So like the mausoleum says Thornton on it, so people might think or get the wrong idea that he was on his grave. I mean, for all we know, he could have been on his grave, which would be pretty disrespectful. But as you could see, like, dissing the dead, it doesn't really end well. In the last like couple years, all the rappers who have really been heavily dissing the dead ended up fucking dead themselves. Like, look at fucking for instance, that just happened 2 days ago, Draco the Ruler. Like, the big reason, I made a whole video on this, but he was basically dissing the dead in Inglewood and stuff, and basically dissing Dead Bloods, and then what happens, he ends up dead. And then you can look at Duck from Chicago. He was dissing the dead. He like ended up fucking dead himself. He ended up shot and killed. You could look at, for instance, Fulio, who basically disses the dead in every song. He ended up getting shot at multiple times, getting shot multiple times. So it's like, it's you're in bad company if you're one of those niggas that are constantly dissing the dead. And this is a little bit extra. Like, I feel like those niggas, they were like dissing the dead in a way that like the average person isn't going to be able to tell that you're dissing the dead, and you'd really have to be paying attention to their music type shit and like know what they're saying and basically kind of decode what they're saying, because they weren't saying it like straight up. I mean, maybe Fulio was saying it straight up, but like Draco wasn't really saying it. I feel like Duck was saying it straight up too. So it was kind of different, but like this is completely different level of disrespectful, because it's like the average person, it's not like there's any type of veil of mysteriousness of what's happening. Like, the average person, a fucking child, is gonna understand what the fuck is happening. Like, this nigga in a whole fucking cemetery, and he's basically talking about standing on what he is, and he's the only one that's continuing this beef. I mean, like, yeah, the nigga's dead, and it's just crazy, man. Like, this nigga has, I mean, I understand the sentiment, because it's like these niggas were definitely hating each other when they were still alive, but it's like, why go through the lens of dissing dead people, like, when it's not like he's gonna respond or anything? And no one even, I doubt, like, who the fuck even wants to hear that shit right now? I mean, people probably want to see it for controversy, but who actually wants to listen to a dead guy diss track? Like, it's not the same, because it's like the nigga can't respond and make music back, so it's just like kind of just fried. Like, it's just kind of overkill. It's beating a dead horse, if you ask me. And then this other rapper, I don't even know if he was associated with Dolph or not. His name was Groove something, but he basically got into a whole online altercation with Blac Youngsta, and he trolled this nigga so hard. It was low-key kind of funny, but he was basically saying, comparing Blac Youngsta to Young Dolph, and this is kind of the reason why people are never gonna say that Young Dolph was or that Blac Youngsta is the King of Memphis, is because niggas were saying that, like, Young Dolph, his whole street where his grandma lived in, his whole street, he like rebuilt all the houses. Like, I don't know if you listened to after he died, but he owned hella properties in Memphis, and he was like building them up. Even the ones that he didn't get to, he owned them, and he was trying to build them up. This rapper drove through Blac Youngsta's street, and it was like a fucking war zone, and he was like, man, you're not doing anything for the fucking neighborhood. And niggas be talking hella shit and whatever, and be popping off, but then not giving back. And I feel like that was the one thing about Young Dolph that his supporters are always gonna fuck with, and the average people are always gonna see him as the King of Memphis, just because this nigga knew to give back. He gave back all the time with turkey drives. He gave back building houses. He gave back to his community. So it's like, you could say whatever you want, but it's like, the average person, I feel like, is not gonna feel this anymore, because maybe if he was alive, they'd feel like the vibes of this type of shit. But after the nigga's dead and his legacy is just giving back to the community and giving back to his kids and stuff, like, people don't know all the behind the scenes shit. Like, I really don't feel like that song is gonna age well. And it seems that, like, when you be dissing like dead people, your clock starts running, and it's like you only have so much time left, as it seems. I don't have any example really of rappers who diss dead people and end up being on A-okay. Like, I can't really name one. All the ones that I know all end up fucking dying, and I'm not saying that he's gonna end up dying or shot or anything like that, but it just seems like when that happens, your life expectancy is going down. And it's just kind of like, I feel like it is real beef shit, but it's like, how can you still be mad when the person's dead? I mean, he's still standing on what he's standing on, but it's like, I feel like it's not active enough. Like, you won, you know, you're alive, you're able to see your family and shit. What's the point of continuing this shit instead of, like, go do something productive, go help people in your neighborhood? I guess that's what people would be probably saying, but obviously this video, it's gonna get hella shock factor, because it's like in a cemetery. This is like his first song release that he did, and he was like Dolph's like probably number 2 op behind Yo Gotti, so it's obviously gonna get a lot of traction and people are talking about it, and that's what he really wants. But I don't really think the attention that you get from this shit is good attention. And we've seen him before when I made that whole video about Draco versus Inglewood and shit. He basically, like, me and my cousin, when we were making that video, I'm pretty sure at some point we said that he was basically on borrowed time. I'm just using this as an example because this is like kind of on the same thing. Like, niggas be thinking that they're too invincible to be touched, too whatever, too thugged out, too like militant, but then niggas don't be moving militant at all. Niggas be moving sloppy, niggas be smoking weed and like not aware of their surroundings and shit. I mean, it's okay to smoke. I'll be smoking too, but it's like when you're a fucking rapper that's like outside and doing shit, like you gotta be aware of your surroundings, especially when you're moving place to place, because niggas know where you are. All they need to do is check a flyer. And in that situation, it didn't end up well. When niggas thought that he was chilling and thought that he was okay, that's when people like got him. So I don't wish anything on Blac Youngsta or anything like that, but I just know that I for certain, I feel like this, I'm not gonna say that he's gonna die from this shit, but let's just say that his life is probably gonna get more difficult. I mean, I guess it's the people that, because I don't even really think it takes the people that are on Dolph's side to really fucking even do anything. There's probably people that are so loyal to that nigga and looked up to him so much in Memphis that they will go do that himself, independent of what the fuck everyone else got going on. You feel me? Which is not surprising. That's anywhere, especially when you're helping a huge community on that level. So man, I hope this nigga's not on borrowed time, but as we see with the examples in the past, like those niggas were on borrowed time that fucking did that shit. So hopefully it's not a matter of time, but I feel like it's a matter of time until something happens. Not necessarily him dying, but something, like some type of altercation, because it's not smart to move like that, man. Especially now, like we might as well be spreading positivity. Maybe get a word in, maybe do like perform like a diss track or something, but then it's like after that, like you're beating a dead horse. It's just like putting more negativity in your circle. And when enough negativity is over in your circle, like I feel like you're on borrowed time, man. But I don't know. Let me know in the comments. You think he was like right for standing on what the fuck he was standing on still when Dolph was alive, or you think he needs to like end this beef and grow up, help his community and shit? I don't know, man. I ain't got the answer, Sway. But hey, check out my merch and shit, link in the description. Make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, and run this shit the fuck up. Appreciate everyone that's been like, commenting, and subscribing. Trying to get to 1,000 fucking subscribers and run this shit the fuck up. You already know. Real say shit. Peace.